Hola! Today's lesson is on some more uses of the subjunctive. We're going to look at adjective clauses and conjunctions of purpose and time. The learning objectives are that you will be able to explain what an adjective clause is in English, that you will be able to apply the use of the Spanish subjunctive to sentences that contain hypothetical situations or adjective clauses, name some of the conjunctions of purpose and some of the conjunctions of time, and apply the use of the Spanish subjunctive to sentences that have conjunctions of purpose and conjunctions of time. So let's get going. First, we're going to look at adjective clauses. Adjective clauses are hypothetical situations. Spanish speakers use the subjunctive after que when they're talking about a hypothetical situation or an imaginary situation, basically something that they don't know to exist. It's called an adjective clause because it qualifies the preceding noun. Consider the example, una ciudad que sea tan bonita como Paris. In this example, una ciudad is being qualified by que sea tan bonita como Paris. The speaker doesn't really know if such a city even exists, which is why it's considered hypothetical. And this is why we use the subjunctive verb sea in this example. Another example would be busco una persona que pueda hacerme feliz. Similarly, the speaker doesn't know if this person even exists, which is why the subjunctive is needed. Sometimes adjective clauses are about a person. With the personal a, the person is specified. Use the indicative. We've seen this kind of example before. Conozco or conoces a mi amigo Raúl. Do you know my friend Raúl? In this case, the person is specified. We're talking about my friend Raúl. We don't need the subjunctive because this person really exists. When we're talking about a hypothetical person or somebody we don't know to exist in reality, we use no personal a and the subjunctive tense. It would sound something like this. Buscan una naturaleza que pueda trabajar todo el año. They don't know if this person actually exists, so we use the subjunctive with the verb pueda, and there is no impersonal a. There's no personal a before the noun. The exception is with alguien, nadie, alguno, or ninguno. Before these verbs, we keep the a, even if the situation is hypothetical. No conozco a nadie que trabaje en el banco. Conjunctions are words that link together a group of words. Up until now, we've been using just the conjunction que to link together our dependent and independent clauses and use the subjunctive. Now we're going to examine some conjunctions of purpose. These conjunctions are always followed by the subjunctive in Spanish. Some examples are a fin de que, a menos que, con tal de que, en caso de que, para que, and sin que. Again, these conjunctions are always followed by the subjunctive. Here are some examples. Voy al cine con tal de que vayas conmigo. In this sentence, voy al cine is the independent clause. The conjunction is con tal de que, followed by the subjunctive vayas in the dependent clause, vayas conmigo. Another example is mi hijo trabaja los fines de semana para que tenga dinero. In the independent clause, mi hijo trabaja los fines de semana, followed by the conjunction para que, and finally the dependent clause, including the subjunctive tenga dinero. One conjunction of purpose is aunque. This is an exception to the rule always followed by the subjunctive because aunque can be followed by either the indicative or the subjunctive. We follow it by the indicative to state certainty. Aunque el concierto es en abril, no puedo ir. That's a certain statement. Even though the concert is in April, I can't go. We follow aunque by the subjunctive when it's uncertain. Aunque el concierto sea en abril, no puedo ir. Even if the concert is in April, I can't go. Now let's look at some conjunctions of time. The conjunctions of time may be followed by the indicative or the subjunctive, depending on the situation. Some of the conjunctions of time are antes de que, después de que, en cuanto, tan pronto como, cuando, and hasta que. We use the subjunctive when the action, condition, or event has not yet taken place. We use the indicative with the conjunctions of time when referring to a habitual action or completed action. Let's see some examples. When the action is anticipated or a future action, again, we use the subjunctive. Los músicos van a aplaudir cuando llegue el director. The musicians are going to applaud when the director arrives. A habitual action is followed by the indicative. Los músicos siempre aplauden cuando llega el director. The musicians always applaud when the director arrives. Time to check yourself. Are you able to explain what an adjective clause is in English? Can you apply the use of the Spanish subjunctive to sentences that contain hypothetical situations or adjective clauses? Can you name some of the conjunctions of time and conjunctions of purpose in Spanish? And finally, are you able to apply the subjunctive in Spanish and the indicative in Spanish to sentences with conjunctions of purpose and conjunctions of time appropriately? If so, you're doing great. Adios!